If I ask you between India and Bangladesh, which country is doing better, I think what the question is, I am talking about the economy. Not only today Bangladesh is going to surpass India in per capita GDP, but there is something more interesting here, how Bangladesh is doing better. But first let me tell you about what is happening in the economy. Hello guys, welcome to ixamBee. My name is Chandraprakash Joshi. We will talk about the recent economic forecast by World Bank, IMF, RBI, very important for exam, and then we will come to about India then Bangladesh comparison on GDP per capita. We will discuss important questions, MCQ format, which are asked in the exam. Starting with what World Bank projections are for GDP growth rate. World Bank predicts that Indian economy would contract by 9.6% during FY 2021. Here, for example, if it says contraction, means if in FY 20 the output is 100, it means in FY 21 it is going to be 91.4. That is mean by 9.6% contraction. And then it explains that there is because of the income shocks experienced by household and small urban service firms. Nationwide lockdown is the major reason that we all know. World Bank predicts that by FY 22, and one clarification here, when we write this FY in Indian context, it will be the year, the month I wrote here, but global publications, so they go by calendar year. Remember here, what does it mean? So FY 22, World Bank predicts 5.4% growth in the Indian economy. Growing this base now, 91.4 by 105%. You must be learning these calculations to do it fast. Multiply it by 1.054. By FY 22, you will have an output of 96.33. is still below what you had in FY 20. Understand how deep is this shock so that you appreciate that this is the worst GDP contraction we have seen. Coming to the similar numbers by RBI, and this is in the last monetary policy review, RBI projected that Indian economy to shrink 9.5% during the current financial year, and quarter-wise estimate 9.8 in Q2, 5.6 in Q3. So Q2 is already over, July to September, and we are right now in Q3, October to December. In Q4, that is Jan to March 21, RBI predicts 0.5% growth. And interestingly, in Q1 of next year, means April to June 2021, RBI predicts a growth of 20.6%. So for example, but this number and this number are important. We have covered all these in detail in this policy video, monetary policy review. Please go through this, especially if you are aiming for RBI Grade B. For rest of the exam, these numbers are enough. Coming to the third important institution, IMF predicts in this survey, World Economic Outlook, which is conducted twice a year by IMF. Again, that can be an exam question. And this is publishing Global Economic Development, WEO publications comes twice a year, in April and in October. Similar publication by RBI, Financial Stability Report 2 times in a year. 5 facts about IMF. It was created in 1945, having headquarters in Washington DC. Today 189 countries are members of IMF. The aim of IMF is financial stability. If you have to remember 2 words, just remember financial stability. That's it. To foster global monetary corporation. So when it comes to monetary corporation at global level, like RBI or any other central bank does it for the country, at global level this cooperation is done by IMF. Student asks, sir, we get confused between the role of IMF and World Bank. World Bank never talks about financial stability. It talks about development. It talks about poverty eradication. It talks about health issues, education issues. Development is the main objective here. Of course, financial stability also goes somewhere into sustainable economic growth and providing employment, because that is the ultimate aim. But the work IMF does is related to the monetary cooperation, fiscal stability, if there is a balance of payment problem. Remember the crisis of 1991. Who is there to help? That is IMF. World Economic Outlook says that global economy is to contract by 4.4% in 2020. The report theme this time is long and difficult accent. In 21, the global economy is predicted to be expanded by 5.2%. So this time contraction, and next time growth of 5.2% over the new base. Over 90 million people are going to be pushed to poverty, surviving with $1.9 a day income. And the pandemic has costed close to 11 trillion over 2021 over these 2 years. And as per these projections of World Economic Outlook, India economy is expected to contract by 10.3%. You remember this number of contraction by IMF, World Bank and RBI. Not much difference, but in the exam you have to know the exact number. In 2022, IMF says that it is likely to bounce with 8.8% growth. IMF and World Bank both are creation of the Bretton Woods Conference. Now coming to this interesting fact that Bangladesh is going to surpass India in terms of per capita GDP. This is coming from World Economic Outlook that predicts that per capita GDP of Bangladesh is going to surpass India's in FY21 because India's per capita GDP may fall by 10% going to $1,877, while Bangladesh it will grow 4% and it will go to 1,888 during the current financial year. Especially during CAA and NRC time, everybody got an impression that like Bangladeshis are really very poor people. They are the migrant in our country. They are ruining our country. Some facts, but more politics. When you read these facts, you will realize not only Bangladesh is doing better today in per capita, but far superior I would say is Bangladesh progress in Gini coefficient. Gini coefficient it tells you about the income inequality. In income inequality, or you want to say equality, whatever, we are far worse in terms of the inequality than Bangladesh. If I remember, our Gini coefficient number is somewhere like 0.45 or something like that, and Bangladesh will be like 0.23, which tells more equal income. So in our country there are more millionaires. There is large disparity in the income. Not only Bangladesh is superior in case of now reaching to better per capita GDP, but more superior in case of the equality of the income. And how Bangladesh has done this? This is by high GDP growth led by booming industrial sector. Industries, government has promoted the trade, the labor cost is lesser. Bangladesh also observed low population growth rate than India. Bangladesh is beating Indian exporters, especially in apparel garments export. India used to be the hub few years back, and today, because of the lower cost in Bangladesh, of course they are able to meet the quality standard. They are competing very tough with the Indian exporters, and also greater social development happening in the country. Exponential rise in the export. So very interesting fact. To be more informed, we shall always know more than political news. Now coming to the question and answers which will come in the exam in MCQ format. For interesting discussions in the live classes which our faculty take daily basis, 2 to 3 live classes you attend in ixamBee, you can reach to us at 920-5524028. We have subject matter experts who are qualified, who have cracked exam, who have experience of teaching and also experience of working in public sector, private sector. All that makes your learning easy. Coming to the question, which of the following report is published by IMF? Easy one, cakewalk. Okay, straightforward answer is World Economic Outlook. Also know the other reports by World Bank, Ease of Doing Business, World Development Report by ILO is World Employment and Social Outlook, and Financial Stability Report by RBI, as I said earlier. These are important for exam purpose. When was IMF established? We discussed in today's video also. And this is the question asked in NABARD Grade A Phase 2 exam, ESI this year. Answer is 1945. I told also about Bretton Woods Conference which happened in New Hampshire in USA. In 1945, these were established, World Bank and IMF. According to IMF World Economic Outlook, India GDP will contract by what percentage during the current financial year? We also discussed this. These kind of options now will make you confusing because we discussed so many numbers. So you have to repeat again. You have to remember that it is 10.3% during the current financial year as per IMF. Which of the following institutions does not make a part of the World Bank group? So in World Bank, there are many institutions. I will list after this, but you tell what is your answer. The answer is all of these are World Bank institutions. IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Normally many times this is said as the name of the World Bank, but in World Bank group actually these are the different institutions. International Development Association IDA, IFC, International Finance Corporation taking the investment related work of the World Bank, Multilateral Guarantee Agency MIGA, and International Center for Settlement of the Investment Dispute ICSID. These 5 are the institutions under World Bank group. Last question, which of the following is not an objective of the World Bank institutions? Providing low or no interest loan to low income countries. Of course, that World Bank does. Easy one. Providing investment advice and asset management to companies and government. When you read it is government, World Bank does that kind of advice. This is also correct. Ensuring lenders and investors again political risk. Political risk is one very important risk when you play about the global level. This is interesting and this is important. Settling investment dispute between investors and countries. If you read my last answer clearly, so you will realize that this is the role ICSID plays. Now settling trade dispute between countries. If you know about global institutions, who settles trade dispute? Is it World Bank or there is separate institution for trade related activities? Yes, you are right, it is WTO. So this is the right answer here because the question was asking not an objective. For more such interesting facts, questions and live discussions which are going to be very helpful for cracking this very tough exam, you may reach to us. You can experience the free demo course on the website also. Government exams made easy by ixamBee. Subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon.